Hello, let's crochet this little ladybird together. For this project we're going to need TK yarn, we're going to need 6 safety eyes and scissors and some toy stuffing, and also a 3mm crochet hook. So let's start getting our red yarn, and we will start with the ladybird's body. Start making a magic circle, and into this magic circle we're going to make 6 single crochet stitches. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And now you can pull your circle tight and close it. For the next round we're going to make an increase into every stitch, so that means we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch from the round below. Mark your very first single crochet so that you know when you get back to the beginning of your round, and just keep making 2 single crochet stitches into each of the stitch from the round below, and at the end of this round you will have 12 stitches around. When you get to the end, we will take out the stitch marker, and next round we'll start with 1 single crochet stitch followed by an increased stitch. So again we're going to mark the first stitch, and the second space will now have 2 single crochet stitches made into it, and we're going to repeat this. So 1 single crochet into the stitch and then followed by 2 single crochet stitches into the next one. So your circle will grow, but just a little bit at a time, and you will be repeating this all the way around, making 1 single crochet and then followed by 2 single crochet stitches into the following stitch all the way around, and you will end up with 18 stitches at the end of this round. After that we're going to make a single crochet stitch followed by increased stitch followed by another single crochet stitch. So made 1 single crochet, now going to do an increase, which is 2 into 1, followed by another single crochet stitch, and that's going to be your pattern repeat for this round. So 1 single crochet first, followed by an increase, followed by 1 single crochet. Keep going all the way around. At the end of this round you will have 24 stitches. Next round we will be making 3 single crochet stitches followed by an increased stitch. So make 1, 2 and 3 single crochets, and then make 2 into the next stitch, and again the same thing, 1, 2 and 3 single crochet stitches and then an increased stitch, and keep repeating this all the way around, and you will have 30 stitches by the end of this round. For the next 2 rounds we are going to make just 1 single crochet stitch into each of the stitches around, so there'll be no more increases. Just make 1 single crochet into each single crochet from the round below, and we will be doing this for 2 rounds, so you can pause your video here and then come back to me when you finish the 2 rounds. After these 2 rounds, you'll see that your work will start cupping a little bit, so just make sure that you'll turn your right side of your work facing you, and the inside of your work will be behind you. And the next round we will be making the head space, so you're doing 13 single crochet stitches, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. And now we're going to chain 4, because this is where we're going to attach the head at the end of your work. Skip 4 and carry on doing another 13 single crochet stitches until you get back to your stitch marker. And when we get back to the end of this round, we are going to change to the using the black yarn. Do not finish off your very last stitch of this round, because we are now going to use black. You just snip the red off and get your black yarn, make a slip knot, and we will finish off this last stitch with your new colour, so that the colour change will be quite smooth. Pick up your work again and just pull that slip knot through your last red stitch to finish that round off. The next round we are going to just make 30 single crochet stitches around, but we're going to have to work into the chain what we created from the round below as well. So make your 13 standard single crochet stitches first, and if you're working over your yarn tails, that means that afterwards they won't be in the way, and you can just tuck them inside your work and hide them out of the way, and they will be secured, so you don't have to worry about sewing them. So when you get to the end of your 13 single crochet stitches and you get to where you created a chain from the last round, you will make 4 single crochet stitches into those chain stitches. So it is just working single crochet stitch into every stitch, but because we have that chain, it's going to be just a little different. And then you just carry on going to work single crochet stitches all the way around back to your stitch marker. I just realised I didn't put a stitch marker in the first stitch, but it doesn't matter for this round because you've changed colour, so you can easily see which one is your first stitch. So next round we will use a stitch marker again to make sure that we know when we've done the full round, and you will be making 3 single crochet stitches followed by a decrease. So that means you pick up 2 next stitches and then pull through your yarn off of both of the stitches. I will show you this again. So do your 3 single crochet stitches first, and then you decrease. You'll be making 2 stitches into one, so you go through first and the second stitch and then finish it off like a normal single crochet, just pulling through both, all the 3 loops at the same time. And this is what we will be repeating now all the way around. So make 3 single crochet stitches followed by a decrease stitch, and it is quite difficult to see your stitches when you're using black yarn. You almost have to feel them more than you can see them, or just try to work in a very bright daylight to help you see in the stitches. When you get to the end of this round, we're going to just pull your working loop up a bit so we can add the spots to the ladybird without losing the end tail of your yarn. Use the hole for the head as your guide where you want to add your ladybird spots, and then use your safety eyes and just put 2 to one side and then 2 to the opposite side. It really doesn't matter exactly where you place them, just try to make them look equal on both sides of your work. Put your eyes there and then put the backings of your eyes and the back of your work so that they will be nice and secure. You don't have to worry about them falling out later. You can also embroider the spots on afterwards if you wish, but I just quite like using safety eyes for this. So go back to your working loop, and the next round we will be doing some more decreasing. This time we will be making 2 single crochet stitches followed by a decrease stitch. Make 1 and then another single crochet, and then make next 2 stitches into 1 like you did in the previous round. So 1 and 2 single crochet stitches followed by a decrease stitch. Just keep going all the way around and you will have 18 stitches at the end of this round. Next round will be another decrease round, and we will be making a single crochet followed by a decrease stitch. So again, make 2 stitches into 1. So your pattern repeat will be 1 single crochet followed by a decrease stitch, and just work this all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker, and at the end of this round you will have 12 stitches left. The final round for the body will be making a decrease into every stitch, as in you will be making 1 out of every 2 stitches of a round. So you will end up with 6 stitches. You start off with 12 and end up with 6. So you're just decreasing all the way around back to your stitch marker 6 times. When you've done that, you'll fasten off, but leave quite a bit of a tail, because we're going to use that in a second, that black tail. So fasten off your work and cut the yarn with leaving a tail. You can get rid of the stitch marker now. We are going to now get some stuffing and stuff your ladybird. And then get your yarn needle and attach it to the black yarn tail, what you had left over. And we're going to make the middle stripe at the back of the body, but first we are just going to sew in this tiny little hole that was left at the end of the last decrease round. So the best way to do this is just pick up every front loop of every stitch of the last round, and you probably can't see them very easily, but just try to pick up the front loops of every stitch. And once you have done that, if you just gently pull, your gap will close just like that. And now you can feed this yarn tail through the body to come back at the back of the ladybird, not the where your head is going to be, but the other side. And we're just going to embroider the stripe that goes across between their spots. So it really is just going in and out at a little bit at a time, and just taking your time, making sure that you're making your stripe as straight as you can. You'll end it where your headspace is and just hide it inside the body. And once you have gone through a couple of times, you can now just cut off that yarn tail, and it's very safely and securely inside the ladybird's body, so it won't move anywhere. Now we're going to make their head. So we are using black yarn for this, and again, do it in the daylight, it'll be a lot easier. Make a magic circle, and we're going to make 6 single crochet stitches into this magic circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and now close your magic circle. Next round will be increase stitches into each stitch from the round below. So you will be making 2 stitches into each stitch from the first round. Make your first 2 and mark the first with a stitch marker. It's a lot easier to know when you got to the end of the round if you mark it. Just go all the way around, making 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch from the round below. Next round will be another increase round, making 1 single crochet followed by an increase stitch. Mark your first single crochet stitch you just made, and then make an increase stitch, so 2 stitches into the next space, and keep repeating this. So 1 single crochet followed by an increase, 1 single crochet followed by an increase, all the way around. You will have 18 stitches at the end of this round. For the next 2 rounds, we are just going to single crochet into each stitch, so just making 1 single crochet into each stitch from the round below, and we're doing this for 2 rounds, so 18 stitches into each round. When you have done your single crochet rounds, we're going to add the safety eyes, and I chose these little eyes which have whites around them, so it'll be easier to see on the black, but you can use standard black eyes as well, it doesn't really matter. We're going to put the eyes about between rounds 3 and 4 and about 4 stitches apart from each other. Put the backs of the eyes on as well, just to make sure they click, and they will be all nice and secure inside their head then. Those ones are a bit trickier to get on than the black ones. And turn your work around again and find that loop, what you were working with. And we're going to now decrease the heads. Next round will be single crochet followed by a decrease stitch. Make 1 single crochet and then make next 2 stitches into 1 stitch, and again 1 single crochet and a decrease all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker, and at the end of this round you will have 12 stitches. Next round will be another decrease round, and we will be repeating exactly the same what we did in the last round. So make 1 single crochet followed by a decrease, and that is going to be 4 times to get all the way around back to the stitch marker. So 1 single crochet first, and then make next 2 stitches into one, making a decrease. Do this all the way around, and after that we're going to fasten off the head and attach it to the body. And again, when you're fastening off, just leave a little bit of a tail so you can use that to sew the head to the body, and get a tiny bit of stuffing and stuff the head. You don't actually need that much stuffing. Make sure you're not overstuffing your head. And once your head is stuffed, we will get the yarn needle and we will start sewing the body to the head. But because we have left the space to where the head needs to go, we'll be able to match the stitches of the body to the stitches of the head. So you'll have 8 stitches on both the body and the head, and you'll just go into 1 stitch from the body to 1 stitch of the head, or the other way around rather, 1 stitch from the head to the corresponding stitch of the body, and do this all the way around and sew your ladybird's head to its body. If you left a long enough yarn tail to work with, you can even do this going around twice, just to make sure it's very secure. And that's the only bit of sewing you really need to do for this project, so it's not a lot. Just keep going all the way around, and then after you finish, you just hide the yarn tail inside the either the body or the head, it doesn't really matter. Snip off the yarn and you have done your little ladybird.